Can you hear on YouTube? You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. Charles. So yeah, man, window washers, 90% not black.
Virtually all of them are Latino, and I don't know what their citizenship status might be, but they work hard. They take a tremendous risk going up on those skyscrapers on a scaffold, and I've seen them fall.
You see them fall?
I've seen situations where the scaffolding is broken, and these guys are dangling.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Hey,
They
man.
have to rescue them, and it's a big deal.
They don't get paid. They don't get paid $25 out for that.
They're saying that they're not getting paid $25 an hour, man.
Man, I feel bad for them
Well,
brothers.
the whole citizenship thing probably comes into play, and they're probably, exploiting them. They're desperate. They need money. They need to get up there, and they do. And these guys, as far as I'm concerned, these are urban heroes.
So I know the Latino caucus had the biggest press conference. Man, how many? I know the Latino caucus was going in.
Man, they had Raymond Lopez out there from 15 over in Inglewood.
Okay.
They had Ricardo Munoz, Ricardo Munoz, man, he's from 22nd, Little Village, 22nd Ward, he's down.
Now I know my boy Gil Villegas was out there.
Gil Villegas was out there because he's out there. That guy is on the job. 3 prominent of the 15 aldermen who were out there, according to the Tribune, these 3 Latino aldermen were there. They were supporting their people. And guess what?
I heard they had some backup.
They had some backup, man. They had some black aldermen out there.
The black aldermen they was at the Latino march?
What were the Latino? It was a union march, but they were supporting these
The Latino Union.
Yeah. And they had they had
Sophia King, I think she was out there.
Sophia King.
Hey man, I heard they had.
How do you say that in Spanish? That's Sophia Reyes.
Sophia Reyes?
No, there's Sophia King.
Okay.
She's from the 4th Ward. They had Emma Mitz. Now I don't know how to.
Now Emma, I can see Emma Mitz being out there because you seen they encroaching on her ward.
Oh,
but
really?
Emma Mitz.
And then they had Patricia Dowell.
How you say?
Patricia.
How you say? Cock to the left. Patricia.
And then they had.
That's the she of clean schools.
Patricia. She was out there, so that's 3. So we matched the Latino. All
Tell me, but wait, Charles.
We had more.
More.
Davido Moore.
Come on.
Davido
Not
Moore.
David Moore.
David Moore from 17th Ward. He was out there.
Come on, y'all.
And then we had the El Jefe.
Who is the
The
Jefe?
chief of the Black Caucus.
Rodrigo.
Soyorino.
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo Soyorino.
You mean the chairman of the Black Caucus was out
The
there?
chairman of the Black Caucus.
What did he say about the MP? So you had
We had
all those.
5 black aldermen. We had more black aldermen out there than we had Latino aldermen out there for these Latino workers. I mean, black folks, we show up.
So we show up for everybody but because yesterday was the same day. Now these skyscraper window washers are downtown.
Right.
So I'm supposing that at the same time that they were having that press conference, they were discussing the WVON morning show because we had Alden Lowry on here and the Metropolitan Planning Council telling us how black people couldn't even get the jobs downtown.
We can't get jobs downtown. That's what Alden Lowry said, that we got 2% of the new jobs downtown. Latinos got 15%.
And we marching.
And we marching. But there was no mention by these black aldermen, particularly the chairman of the Black Caucus, of the study that MPC did. I mean, that was a damning study about the city.
Damn.
And they said nothing. They said nothing about our problem working downtown. And they went out and marched, and I think even Sawyer had on a sombrero.
He did not have on a sombrero.
Sombrero means hat.
Oh, okay.
In Spanish.
I thought it was like one of them big wide brims.
No, but he had a sombrero. It was a baseball sombrero. Sombrero de baseball.
Alderman Sawyer, give us a call, man. I know you're listening. David Moore, call us. Man, now we saw that the MPC said we can't get no jobs downtown. And now y'all down there marching for other people who trying to save their jobs downtown.
Right. And
How many brothers was out
I'm
there?
gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something.
Go ahead, tell me.
I am supportive of the window washers. I mean, their citizenship notwithstanding, anybody who does what they do should be compensated.
Spider-Man,
They should have
Spider-Man,
health insurance.
does whatever
They,
a
no,
spider
serious,
can.
man. They should have health insurance. They should have an adequate salary, more than 25.
Look out.
They're fighting for 25
Here
when they
comes the
should be making 50.
Spider-Man. I think they should, but I think we got other problems.
We got problems.
We
too.
got our own
I'm
problems.
just concerned that they did this NPC study and there was crickets. Crickets from the Black Caucus. Crickets.
Crickets.
Cue the crickets.
I don't know how. Oh, see, cue the crickets. That you know what?
But I mean, what do they do?
Charles.
What do they do if they don't complain or say something about that study? Then who does?
Man.
It's our leadership.
Charles, you know, man, I don't know what the heck is going on, but
And then in the meantime, the mayor and Sterling Bay.
Sterling
announced
Bay.
They're going to spend
billion
dollars up on the north side in that area where we can't work.
Man,
that we're not getting.
we just saw a study yesterday where they said they was now look, Charles. So basically, they're gonna bring 23,000 more jobs and 5,000 new homes. Wait, 23,000 jobs, 5,000 new homes in the neighborhood where they already say we can't work.
Oh, we're not working.
We're not working, and the way I looked at that, we can't afford, because part of the study was, can you really afford to live close to where you work? And clearly they're building a neighborhood where you can't afford to work. So Charles, it seems like it's the what you say, the underlay for the overplay once again, because on both papers, they unveiled this $5 billion Sterling Bay development, Lincoln Yards. Man, they got everything. Sports facilities, housing, you name it. They're going to have every type of 16 Starbuckses and you name it, it's going to be everything now. Everybody.
And they're hoping that Amazon HQ2 would locate there.
But you know, they like, even if it don't, we finna make the north side pop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Charles, it really all lies in the hands. You know, this is that aldermanic prerogative thing we talk about. But there's one shot black folks got. And that is when this project comes before the full city council. So, Charles, when we come back, I'm going to ask the social media question of the day. Should black aldermen support the $5 billion investment in the Sterling Bay investment on the north side? And if they do, what should they demand in return? Look, it's Talk Chicago. We'll be back after traffic and the weather. $5 billion, y'all. $5 billion. So, what I'm trying to help you understand is, most of this project will be aldermanic prerogative. I'm sure Charles will break that down. But we got to break down how this works and what we can do in a bigger sense, okay? So we got aldermanic prerogative, but then how do we make a demand? So this is gonna be a class, all right? Get ready for a class on how development works. What up, Israel? What up, Dale Murray? What up, Kiana Hughes? Levon McGee, Daryl Murray, Regina Alexander, get the coolers ready. We are going to be at the Taste of WVON. Leah Charrier. Hey, y'all, I'm talking to Dougie Fresh today. We're talking to Dougie Fresh today. Ronald E. Brody, Henry Hartsfield, Bueller. What up, Maurice Newman? What up, what up, Patah? What up, Leah Charrier? What up, Patricia Neal? Salim Muwakil. Are you a philosopher? So you're a philosopher? You're supposed to say yes. Salim, you're supposed to say yes. All right, what up? Oh, I already hit you. Bueller. What up, Patricia Neal? Henry Hartsfield? Tiger Lily. What up? Joe Soul. What up? Cheem dog. What up? Oh, I can't see now. See, I'll be tripping. What's up, Commissioner Carrie Steele? Yes.
I heard she's a big fan.
Who?
Commissioner Carrie Steele.
She is the number one fan.
Hey, did you hear the story about the guy in Alabama? His first day on the job, his car broke down.
Yes.
So he started
walking 20 miles, and then he got there.
Well, the police stopped him.
I was gonna ask.
Police stopped him about 14 miles in. Heard his story, bought him breakfast. Brought him down the road. Some more cops picked him up, brought him down the road, and he got to his job, which was working at a moving company, way before the rest of the crew. And the people's house that they came to Facebooked the story.
Yeah.
CEO finds out.
Bought him a car.
Well,
gave him the car.
But better yet, started a GoFundMe. And I just checked his GoFundMe's at 71K right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's a cool story. And he's enlisted to become a Marine. This kid.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That how many yeah, I wonder how many
Otherwise,
times
it's
he was
usually
walking in.
bad.
How many? Right.
When a guy's picked up 14 miles to his walk in Alabama and picked up by the police.
Yes. What up, Commissioner Carrie Steele? What up, Brother Patah, Dennis Evans, Tamiko Holt, Brother Edward Muhammad, Israel Bob Israel. What up, Bueller? John Double J Joyner. What's up, Willie Preston? John Rimbert, the suckiest Cubs fan ever. What up, Quasi Amoa? Quasi, hey out. Vernon Spells will be here at 7 o'clock. I hope he's got a fresh cut. What up, James Matthews Jr.? James, I got your information yesterday and have forwarded it along. Hopefully you will receive a call. Andre Smith. Andre, they told me you be messing with the barbershops. Regina Alexander, Nanette Jones, Ronald Albert Nethery, Felicia Gatewood, Ronald E. Brody, J.D. Demetrius, Tiger Lily, Tennille Jackson. What up, Salim? Muakil, Alvin E. Norton, Sonia Escobar, Joe Soul, Maurice Newman, Rick Good, Patricia Neal, and Linda Perry. Thank you for tuning in to the WVON Morning Show every day. We appreciate you. All right, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, you, and you. That's my white guy voice. Aunt Tennille. Hey, y'all, if you're in Bolingbrook, I need a place. My son needs to play some pickup basketball. I'm going to be out in that area tomorrow. We want to pick up we want to play a little ball with some shouties. I ain't never been invited. Y'all don't invite me to nothing. I just need to say that. I feel so hurt that I have gotten no invites from the den to any cookouts, barbecues. Nobody's invited me to your block parties. It's like, I got to go all the way out to somewhere. Y'all be tripping, man. That's all right, though. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got y'all, though. It's all right. Y'all don't want me to get no plate. Y'all want me and Carrie to stop by and say what's up. You know what I'm saying? It's all right, though. Because one day when I'm famous, y'all going to be like, damn, he would have came by here. But now, see, y'all be playing a brother. Y'all want to show a brother. Y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't even right. Like, and Regina, I know you better not even. I'm not even talking to you, Regina. I'm not even trying to hear you. Man, Ronald, I ain't coming to no damn Arkansas. Do you know what they do to black people in Arkansas? I'll come to Arkansas. I've been to Bentonville, Arkansas. Ain't that where Walmart is? Something there. That's all right, though. It's okay. It's all right. Because when I have my parties, I'm going to be like, that's okay. I'm going to be having a party. I'm going to be like, I got a party. I'm having a party. And I'm going to be like, and it's going to be, it's just me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. That's what I found out. And see, ain't no. Now on, I'ma be my own best friend. Me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. I know that it's too soon, too far. I know I can't afford to stop, but I know that it's too soon, too far. In she came. You got to have something to invite me to. In she came, in she came, in she came, oh, in she came. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I am your host, Mace Jackson, with my man, Charles Thomas. Charles, it is the social media question of the day. We were talking about it before we went to break, but Charles, today both major papers had on the front page the $5 billion plan to bring 23,000 new jobs as well as 5,000 homes to the north side in this Lincoln Yards project.
Hats off to the PR firm working for Sterling Bay. That was.
Hey man, Sterling Bay, right? That was they got the. Hey man, but when you Sterling Bay, man, these are the same dudes that bought the John Hancock building. They bought the Prudential building. They built Fulton. They're a big part of what happened in the West Loop and the Fulton Market, and now they are going into this Lincoln Yards project. $5 billion investment, right, Charles? They're going to build retail, housing. There's going to bring jobs, everything to this community, which will mean long-term and short-term, all the construction, what we always talk about. But then I think about all of the stuff that's going to go on long-term after that. Like, what does it mean? You know what this is, right? You know when you go up on...
the Finkel Steel building used to be, and a lot of that's Scott Wagaspak's ward, the 32nd ward.
But this project falls smack dab in Brian Hopkins' ward, which is the second ward. But you know what, Charles? Think about this. Think about the irony of this, and it just hit me. Think about what the second ward meant to black people, right? It was the base of black power. It was the historic black ward in Chicago. They then stole it. Bob Fioretti won it. Then they hated Bob Fioretti. They moved it to the north side. And now it's the $5 billion plan that black people can't get no pieces of.
But it's Lincoln
Park.
Lincoln Park. I mean, it's not the black neighborhood
anymore because they stole it from us.
Well, it's a little north, I think.
But they moved it.
The second ward.
Well, okay. Well, you know what? But the balance of the second ward, when it was on the south side, right? That was our historic ward. Now this second ward is going to be the place where they really exclude us. But Charles, you know, this is one of those aldermanic privilege deals, right? Where the alderman of the area kind of decides the zoning. And that's really a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal because they call it aldermanic prerogative, I think.
Yeah.
And that means that if you want to build something in your ward, that you as the alderman have final say. That the other aldermen, whatever you decide, the other aldermen automatically respect that decision. Rarely is that protocol violated in Chicago. The problem is that the black aldermen will sign on to something that Brendan Riley wants, for instance, in the 42nd ward, which is downtown.
The Trump guy.
Yeah, and they'll automatically let him do it, and they won't intervene and withhold their votes on zoning or whatever to get anything from him, because they say, hey, we don't want to mess with him because we don't want him messing with us. Well, the problem is, I haven't seen anything built in the 6th ward like that, or the 21st ward, or the 7th ward like that they're building downtown. So they ain't building skyscrapers in Rod Sawyer's ward. Right. He came in here and told us about aldermanic prerogative. I said, man, they don't build skyscrapers in your ward, so why should you not weigh in on the big projects downtown? Well, that's aldermanic prerogative, you know, you gotta. So it's a
tricky situation.
Very tricky, and I think it's something that has worked against black people because this city is so segregated. both economically as well as racially, and it works against black people.
I can agree with you on that in a lot of cases. What I'm concerned about is giving up aldermanic prerogative now as the South Side becomes, as they eat up all the space on the North Side, because they running out. And now as these people out, the Chinese are coming and everybody's buying lakefront property, and now the Obama land is coming, right? And so now there's all the white folks starting to look over here in Bronzeville and South Loop. When we give it up, now when we finally get it, it's like they're going to talk us out of it. But that's neither here nor there. Because, Charles, the black aldermen have one crack at it. Because, it's got to go through, the alderman has to go through a zoning process, right? And so in the zoning process, the alderman controls that. But then the vote for the project has to go in front of the whole city council. And at that point, now I know they all vote, but there have been times in the past where the inequity has been so large that the mayor forced a deal. That's how we got the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, right? Where a lot of the development was happening in the West Loop and in the West Loop and in Fulton Market and all those places. And so the mayor went to the alderman, my guy, and said, hey man, you getting too much of this money, man. Will you do something that's good for the betterment of the city? Help the South Side wards with all of this development. And they worked out the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. I don't know how that all works now, but there was a deal. Charles, and let me just say this. The deal may not be with just the city. The deal may be with the developer who's got $5 billion worth of investors around the world buying into this fund, and they got to get their project approved to make their return on investment. So what, can we force Sterling Bay to do something? Can we force the mayor to force a compromise? Can we force the alderman? But I feel like $5 billion plan, you can't put that on the front page and say, we gonna do this and y'all can't get nothing. What can we do, Charles?
I mean, I don't know the development game. I mean, you obviously had some experience in that, or have some experience. I don't know it. I just know that when a project comes up for zoning, that's when the aldermen can vote. And they can say to the developer, look, if you want to build this, I don't care, in the city of Chicago, you must do this for us.
Yes.
And I think that's the point where I understand black aldermen could have an impact if they got off this aldermanic prerogative business that doesn't benefit them. They have to start saying, hey, if you want to build, the Vista Tower downtown, which is 90 stories or whatever high, and it's in Brendan Riley's ward. I look at that project. I've been in the skyscraper right next door to it, and I look at it and I count the black people working on that project, and I don't see any, or very many. And I'm wondering, well, why would they? How can they do that and not be held accountable? And I think that at the zoning level, when the zoning is approved, black aldermen can exact something, whether it's workers on the ground, whether it's development someplace else, they can exact something from that process, and they don't, because they observe this protocol that says it's none of their business.
So I'm going to suggest that you are right, Charles. I'm also going to suggest that there is a point, and we're at that point right now, whether even if you don't, we don't even have to touch prerogative. I'm just saying, because I know the second you start talking, I'm trying to get a win. So right now, as they are discussing this project, Sterling Bay is tuned in to the WVON morning show, right? And all the aldermen and all the developers. So right now, black folks, you got to say what you want. Like, you got to say, so Sterling Bay is thinking, man, we already had the Black Caucus, but right now they saying, oh, damn. And so they're going to say, Alderman, what do you want?
That's a good question. And you have to ask at this point, what alderman can express that, and you have to say, if they can't get together on this MPC study, what says they're gonna get together on the development?
You know what? I'm with you, Charles. That's why we gotta force the issue. It's the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Charles Thomas. We'll be back. So let me tell y'all where we're at right now. So this is where lobbyists, aldermen all intersect right now. Okay? So right now, every alderman can get a piece of this project without even touching aldermanic prerogative. If black aldermen say, man, we are not going to support this, we're not going to support the project, but what you going to give us for this $5 billion project? Or this is what we want to support this $5 billion project. See, if Sterling Bay had a black lobbyist, right, then the black lobbyist's job would be to go to all of the aldermen one at a time and say, Alderman, we need your support for this project. What are you looking for? And then a deal would start cooking. But let me help you understand how it works. Sterling Bay's lobbyist is a Latino guy who's cool with all the black aldermen. So oftentimes they don't even realize that he's lobbying them when he's showing up at their events, etc. They just see him and say, ooh, oh yeah, Mike, no problem. Oh yeah, no problem, no problem, no problem. He's getting paid to get them to say yes, to approve the project. So then he never makes a demand for us, but when he goes to Brendan Riley says, you got to use this architect, this. The lobbyist, in a lot of cases, serves as the messenger to the alderman. We don't have anybody black working at Sterling Bay that's like, oh, damn. So what has to happen is black folks right now have to create a rumble about this project. Not just being mad. Black folks got to say, look, Sterling Bay, y'all have invested in blah, 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 blah. We want to see a plan or a development for this, etc. Or on that project, if you want our alderman support, you got to give us this. The zoning committee makes a decision, but the decision has to be voted on by the whole city council. So usually the city council passes it in an omnibus, but if they don't pass it in an omnibus, if you single out that project, then you got an issue. Y'all, right now, the neighborhood, and I think the other part is we are super invested in the construction. Do white people eat fried chicken? Can we own? So can I tell y'all what I went to the other day? I went to a fried chicken place up north. Budlong Chicken. There are white people frying Nashville fried chicken, selling it for $10 for a 2-piece white. Just a few blocks from that area. Black people ain't even selling the fried chicken. Why not say, Sterling Bay, we want to, let's get out of the construction piece so much. We want 10% of the businesses that are black incubated startup business that we're going to support, etc. So we could get some of that north side money and bring it back to our neighborhood. Why don't we sell the culture, right? So think about it. There's no black soul food. If you put a black soul food restaurant in Lincoln Park, that mug is going to make so much money. Not if they operate like a black business. Silver Room did. They just couldn't afford the rent. All major shoot. And it depends on the service. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Charles, $5 billion investment on the north side. Sterling Bay is talking about doing this Lincoln Yards development. Now, I'm not going to hate on aldermanic prerogative, but I do believe that we do have a shot to affect this project, right? By right now, making the developer, the city, everybody say the black alderman, when it comes to full council. Now, I know once it gets through the zoning committee, it's pretty much a done deal.
It's a done deal.
But we still have one shot. And so even if the people were like, hey man, they tripping on the south side and the black alderman can't support it in city council, it could be a potential of some disturbance. Let me tell you what will happen. Every developer, everybody will be figuring out a program because don't nobody want to mess up the plan. So what I'm suggesting right now is black folks, they talking about spending $5 billion up north. What you want? If there was a deal to be made, and I know y'all gonna say construction, but I don't know if we got all, I'm suggesting, can we get the soul food restaurant investment up north? White folks love them some fried chicken. I went to Bud Long Chicken the other day, Charles. White folks up there, check it out. White folks up there frying chicken like it's brand new. Right? Like it's brand new. Can we get a cut of the economic pie? Ronald, you're on the Talk of Chicago.
Yeah. My question is, first of all, with the window wash, ain't no way in the world I'm going to I give him credit. Number two, I know you had the alderman on your show and he was talking about the truck driver, but did you see how he snuck in there? Well, we're going to die for the white folks. But he ain't said nothing about the black truck driver or anything. And number two, is them aldermen coming to y'all party?
Yes, Alderman Harris, let me tell you what. Alderman Harris will be there, and y'all better be nice to Alderman Harris because she shut them streets down and she make it possible for us all the time. Go ahead.
Something that the mayor did right after he got elected, he got into this food desert conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And when, for instance, Whole Foods wanted to move into Chicago, which they did, or Mariano's wanted to move into Chicago, which they did, he said to them, okay, you can put your store in the West Loop, you can put a store up in Lincoln Park or wherever it was, but you're also going to have to put a store down the way.
Okay,
and that's what I'm talking about. And that can be done. But I don't expect Rahm Emanuel to do that necessarily on his own. I mean, he did that. Give him credit. He did that. And there are Mariano's now. There's one in Bronzeville.
Yep.
And where else is there one?
I mean, it's one in Bronzeville.
There's one in Bronzeville. Okay. There's a Whole Foods.
It's in that
little bitty Whole Foods in
Inglewood.
But hey, I mean, that's how you can move these developers and these businesses, and they have to make a decision.
Exactly.
And I think that whole thing can be done with Sterling Bay as well in terms of making them invest in the South Side. But I think the point where the grist meets the mill, so to speak, is in that zoning committee and in that zoning moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Charles, so right now is the time, right? The developer, so this is, let me be clear. This is, the developer wants this done because they're going to make a profit. Right? They got investors that have given them a ton of money and they said, go build that Lincoln Yards and in 20 years we're going to be richer.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to get the return on investment, they got to get the buy-in of everybody right now. And so the pressure needs to be placed on Sterling Bay by the black aldermen. So when they come in and they be like, you know how I say, before you take the picture, before you take the selfie, ask what's in it for the black people.
But see, here's what happens, May. Sterling Bay steps to the black alderman individually with a small bag.
Now, let me tell you what they do.
A small bag, and then they
and can I tell you what, Charles? That is why we need black lobbyists. So I'm just going to say this, right? So Sterling Bay hires a Latino lobbyist who plays to be cool with all the black folks. And so, hey, you come in, it's like, we love the cool white boy or the cool Latino. We love to be accepted. And usually when he's in there talking to them, moving and shaking hands, he's getting paid to do it. They don't realize it. We need black lobbyists who are saying, hey man, Sterling Bay, when the door closes, hey man, they not going for that $250 contribution no more. They want infrastructure. Look, see, what happens, Charles, is the black guy that gets in the room oftentimes feels like his job is to protect the white man's money instead of showing the white man, look man, if you do smart business, you'll make your money. Charles, if we let this $5 billion, if they let this $5 billion Lincoln Yards get by you, and I'm going to tell you, watch, tomorrow, in a week or two, Sterling Bay, the mayor, all them, they going to come up with a game plan.
They let all that development up in Wrigleyville get by them.
That's because didn't nobody say nothing.
Exactly.
Guess what, though?
That's what it is. But you can name development after development. Like I mentioned, those skyscrapers downtown.
Ask them people who was. Ask them people. We should call the people who was in the press conference for the window washers. Say, hey yo, why you press conferencing for the window washers? Could you press conference for the black people that voted for you?
Exactly. And not just the black aldermen. I'm talking about the Chicago Federation of Labor, all these other people that read the same statistics, see the same numbers in terms of disparity between black neighborhoods and white neighborhoods. How come the Chicago Federation of Labor isn't saying anything about the MPC study? Tell me that.
You know why they ain't saying that.
I know, but why are we sitting there shoulder to shoulder with these people that never come out and march on our behalf? They don't.
Kumbaya.
Why not? How come the Chicago Federation of Labor isn't saying anything about what's going on at these construction sites downtown?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Doug Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson, Charles Thomas. Hey man, kumbaya! We'll be back after traffic and the weather news.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation. 1690
Look, Vern about to be late, y'all.
Chicago.
His big shot, and he gonna be late. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. What up, Jeanette? What up, Diane Scott? What up, Nettie? Now, y'all know I'm a lobbyist, right? And I do lobbying for developers. But my role in that is to ensure that the developer does not shortchange the community. So in my business, the way I lobby from the perspective of, do you want to have a successful project? If you want a successful project, then you need to be inclusive. And when I say inclusive, I mean you gotta hire black people. So I would tell you that one of the things that I looked at the MPC study and a lot of these other things is, like when you look at the stories of where the most affordable housing occurs, right? When you look at the places where the most black jobs are still growing, if you look, a lot of it is happening and occurring in the West Loop area and in the near north area where my good friend Alderman Burnett is there and is very proactive in trying to ensure that jobs and contracts and opportunities are there. I think that what we've tried to do, or what in my perspective, is to look at not just the construction, but how do we create businesses that can participate in the process long-term and ownership. Oh, he made it! Okay. You made it! Cousin Bert, man, you came in with a Lakers hat, dog? Did you really come in with a Lakers hat?
My boy LeBron.
Yo, boy LeBron.
My boy LeBron.
Hey, man. Cut his mic. This nigga came in talking about some LeBron.
He didn't even bring breakfast for everybody.
You ain't bring no barbecue, man. You ain't bring us no food, man. You came to the studio and you ain't bring breakfast, man. You ain't bring no donuts or something, man. That's how you do, man. See, you ain't got no good manners,
I'm
man.
healthy.
Hey, when you're talking to the microphone, about that far apart, and if you just put your headphones on and check the volume real quick. Cool. Is that a good volume?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna put you on this microphone here, and Maze will set you up with the angle, okay?
You good.
How do we let this chair put it on the little
This
short?
guy right here. Right. Yeah, let me give you a different chair.
Man, James, you gotta build up a lot of relationships to be a lobbyist.
Actually, that chair was
Right.
worth a try.
You gotta be able to persuade. We could talk about it though. I think there needs to be a power lobbying firm, right? Like there needs to be a power black lobbying firm that all of, like that any. So basically, there's firms that if you want to get Latinos, you gotta go to. There's not really a black power lobbying firm, even though we have the most elected officials. But if you thought. The deal is not cut with the elected officials, y'all. The deal is usually put together by the lobbyist who assesses the situation and says, man, we can get away with this, we can get away with that. Usually they hire a lobbyist to tell them how they get it done. When you hire a lobbyist, the lobbyist usually has,
So you're a hairstyling shop.
Couple, one on 55th and then one on 47th. And then I go, then I start out in Hyde Park, 53rd, which I stopped. I was there for 5 years. Then opened a place in Hyde Park.
speak up,
In Cornell. Oh, I didn't know we were on live.
speak up.
Okay, yeah, so I started out in Hyde Park, 53rd Street, right across from Ribs and Bibs,
Sure, yeah.
Wally's Barbershop.
Okay.
Years ago, I used to always see you at the Starbucks when it was located on the corner in my Harper's Court. I would always ride by there.
Right.
Look at my man Charles off TV, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I used to go there for a lot of stuff, even when I need to just talk to people in general.
yeah,
Like do classic man on the street, Hyde Park was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got, number one, you had a level of intelligence.
Yeah.
And engagement.
Yeah.
And you had all races of people.
yeah, and everybody came through there, through Hyde Park up and down 50.
Thanks, Lamont.
I met, a ton of people when I was over there that was, actually part of what I feel like made me be successful. The guy that I used to work for actually was President Obama's original barber.
Got it.
And then when he left to go open his shop down the street on, I said, well, it's on the 53rd and Kenmore.
Right.
Then Obama stayed in Hyde Park Hair Salon and let the guy who, got famous for cutting his hair started to be Obama's barber. Okay, so that's kind of how that story went. Then I branched out. I opened up in the mall on 55th and the Dan Ryan Expressway. I've been there almost 13 years. Then I opened another place on 4653 South Main Drive. Been there 7 years.
How's that working out?
Yeah, and I actually, I was doing so well in my barbering business, I took a shot in the restaurant business, and that's when I had Vinny's Steakhouse. That's when I opened
Right.
the restaurant, just trying to bring something different to the neighborhood. I'm not a restaurant guy.
It's gotta be a tough business if you're not.
Yeah,
But, so Joe's is gone too, right?
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
what up with that? Joe's was mad.
Yeah, Joe, I had some situations, I don't really know to what
Yeah,
extent.
somebody was saying he was behind in his rent or something, and I could not imagine why, because the place was always busy.
Yeah,
But
well,
t-
it seemed to be.
Don't put his business.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not, it seemed to be busy, okay?
Uh-huh.
But it's not like some of the places how you guys were talking about earlier, downtown, north side. A lot of the small businesses, especially the restaurant businesses, if they're not just like the glass window business with one person at the register and one person
Yeah.
cooking. When I opened my restaurant, I started off with 22 people, just trying to make sure people felt like they were getting good service. And so when you talk about some of the other restaurants in the community, they're bare bones, they're not washing any dishes or doing anything like that. You're gonna drop it in some grease, you come get it, you leave. And most of the time in the black community, the restaurants that survive are mostly the breakfast restaurants. For whatever reason, a lot of people will get breakfast sometime before they leave the community to go downtown. You know, they may feel like it's too expensive. They're gonna find a place to park before they go to some of these places and go to work. So they will visit the neighborhood breakfast restaurants. You know.
It's gotta be a complicated business, and very difficult to manage,
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to lose money. You got, perishable, you can dealing with a perishable item, they only got so much shelf on
Workers, you gotta be a crowd, man.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to file contracts.
Woo! Yeah, that's the most difficult part of it. Should I have the headphones on, guys?
Yeah. You got him? He checked the volume. Now we're about to go on now.
I believe.
You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. But y'all know how we do at the top of every hour. Gotta say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom? Hey, Vern.
Yeah.
That go Annette in the newsroom. You know you are always not Annette. I don't know if you know, but on Facebook Live, when you talk, Vern is like, where's she at? Where's she at? Let me see. Vern, you are
Well, you know what? Annette has that.
To the mic.
Annette has that voice.
That
That's
voice.
all it is.
She got that
Yeah,
voice.
she's hardly ever seen. So, we tune in every day and we never see her, but we always hear her voice.
We know we're gonna have to start showing on the camera. Hey, plus you gotta say what's up to the music conductor of the Soul Plane, Miss Sonia Escobar. But Charles, that voice you just heard in the background is that of the owner and proprietor and my sometimes barber. Sometimes when he cutting. You know, one of them fancy barbers, they pick when they cut, right? Vernon Spells. He's also a member of the Lions Den. But Charles, as we've been talking about this whole uprising on 71st Street, it revolves around the barbers and the conversation. Now, Charles, we had that uprising last week, and there's controversy regarding it. Break it down for our listeners so they can kind of get a backstory on, again, where we are as it relates to where we are with this 71st Street uprising, the tape, the what happened, the tape, and then...
Well, I think that right now, we went from on Sunday where a lot of people were saying, oh, he had a gun, and he was this, he was that. But I think what we have come to realize later that this was a contributing person in the community. This was not a thug. This was not a gunman. This was a person who had a holstered weapon. Whether or not he could legally carry it or not, he was carrying it for protection from threats that he perceived were in the community against him. He was not a person who was out there with a weapon trying to kill somebody or shoot somebody in an aggressive way. He was trying to defend himself. That was, to me, that seems to be now an accepted notion. Would you say
Yeah,
at this point? This wasn't.
I would agree. And so, Charles, I think that one of the dynamics, because I think it's what we know as black folks, but the white folks are like, oh no, he had a gun. And the police like, he had a gun. And so he had a gun, he had a skull cap, and he had on a black something, a smock or a t-shirt or whatever. And the perception of who he was when they see it and what we see. But then it got me to hearing, I kept, throughout this debate, kept getting this, Barbers' lives matter. Barbers' lives matter. And Charles, I think about my barber and I think about my barbers. In the hood, dealing with cash every day, but they're also kind of like the neighborhood psychologist, right? Cathartic. You know, you go in the barbershop, you dump everything out. So to give us some perspective on kind of what happened, and I really want to know what are barbers thinking as it relates to this situation. Man, y'all carry cash, firearm ID. So to talk about it all is the owner of Hair Experts 1 and 2, Mr. Vernon Spells. Vernon, welcome to the WVON Morning Show.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Charles and May. Yeah, what I see is exactly like what you were saying. You know, the barbers in the neighborhood are dealing with cash. You know, someone in the barbershop might decide, you know, if they're legal, because, you know, a lot of barbers, I'm not going to say with some barbers don't have the ability to have a Ford car.
So let's back up. Is it common, without incriminating anybody, do barbers feel like they need to carry guns?
In some neighborhoods, yes. Now, some of the neighborhoods that I've done business in, I've, you know, owned shops in Hyde Park and Bronzeville and neighborhoods like that, you know, it's 50-50. You know, but guys would, you know, people would come in and they would, you know, try you. You know, they know everyone in there pretty much has cash. And in a neighborhood like, just say 71st, where, you know, I ride by there every day on my way to work and home, it's always something going on over there. So can you imagine, you know, when 71st gets dark at night during the winter or whatever, these guys have an open door policy. They're not buzzing anybody in. You know, anybody can just walk in if they want to. And, you know, this guy wasn't a criminal from what we could see. You know, wasn't a convicted felon or anything like that. He could have been a guy who was legal enough to carry a firearm, and he did so.
But he wasn't legal enough as we can find right now. He didn't have, as of now, they said he had a FOID, but they said he doesn't have a concealed carry license, which would make him carrying a gun illegal. Why would he do something like that if he knew that he could go to jail for this?
Sometimes it's you know, the police aren't going to get there soon enough to save you in a lot of situations. So sometimes it's just a risk a lot of business owners, small business owners take. You know, not just African American or black business owners. You have a lot of other business owners in the community that carry firearms, whether it's legal or not. They worried about their lives, you know, and not just what the law says at that moment.
Yeah, in fact, you know, it's only been a few years that we've had concealed carry in Chicago. But that's not to suggest that people, I mean, really law-abiding people weren't carrying guns for self-protection prior to the, you know, that whole court case and such that legalized concealed carry in the city. And I gotta think there's gotta be a protocol from the police department on how to confront people who are carrying weapons for self-defense, as opposed to those who are committing crimes or is suspected of committing crimes. And I just got the sense from this whole stop, because it doesn't have sound on it, because this guy had an ID out before he was shot and before he broke and ran. What did that police officer say? How did she approach him? How did the first officer, the black officer in that picture, how did he approach him? What was said? And we're never gonna find out, because Eddie Johnson now says that the recorders were not turned on. And I think that's where the gray area is here.
I totally agree with you, Charles. I totally agree with that. You know, they approached him from the video we've seen. You can obviously see him trying to comply and show the reason why, you know, he probably would have a firearm on him. But, you know, sometimes how the police may approach us as African Americans in a community like that can start to escalate a situation that might not happen.
Can I tell you, one of the things that I heard, one of the best things that I heard was Annette Flournoy, when she talked about without being able to hear the sound. I thought that he could have, even when he reached, been shot, right? And grabbed and was like, oh my God, right? And I want to see where those bullets went in. But Vern, this is what I want. We got to go to traffic and weather, but when we come back, I want to know what the brothers are saying in the barbershop. What are people saying? What are the barbers saying? What are the customers saying? What is the conversation? Because, man, Vern, we got some real issues in our neighborhoods that we got to take. Because if you got to carry a gun and you a businessman in your neighborhood, something ain't right somewhere. We got to figure it out. It's the Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
Yeah, that's what I could kind of see. You know, it's
You got to speak up.
yeah, that's what I could kind of see, Charles. Is you know, there's a lot of situations up and down 71st, and not just 71st, and a lot of impoverished communities where there's a lot of things going
Speak
on.
up.
This guy,
You're not in the mic. You don't have to talk in the mic right now.
but yeah, there's a lot of things going on in these communities that we don't want to be honest about. We don't want to speak about what's really going on, and me being on the ground every day and making a living, just pretty much. When I was in Hyde Park, we serviced all kind of people in the barbershop. You came in, we had a motto: if it grew, we cut it. It didn't matter if you was white, Chinese, whatever. We were trained on how to service those people. And when you go outside of a neighborhood like Hyde Park, the diversity and stuff, it just goes right out the window. I've been on 47th and King Drive 7 years, and I probably can count on one or two hands how many people came in to get service that were not black. So like when you were talking earlier on the radio about this new development up north, I've sat in on meetings over the past month with I'm not going to say any names, but big landlords that are saying, listen, we don't want any barbershops or beauty salons in these new developments that are going up in Woodlawn and all of these type of places. Well, the truth of the matter is, most times in our community, that's the place that, when we know we have a place like that to get service in our own community that we feel comfortable going to is a place in a nicer community. You have people come from other communities that may come to Hyde Park or Bronzeville to get service because they're like, well, you know what, I don't want to go on 71st or whatever because whatever might be going on up there. But now with the regentrification, a lot of landlords are saying, no, we don't want that business there because the customers that are going to patronize the other businesses, a lot of them are coming there because they were told that black folks is about to be gone. And so they don't want a business there
That's going to
that's
attract.
attracting them. And so when you talk, and not to get to the whole economic portion of when you're talking about them, pushing the paper and selling the deals or whatever, and the people buying the deals, and the banks want to look at the papers and say, what kind of tenants you got in here? Who you got? Well, what is it going to look like? They say, I got Pizza Hut, or I got hair experts. The paper's worth more if the landlord has a national tenant in there.
Right.
Not to say that, it's tons of barbershop and beauty salons, and the majority of them, they last wherever they are, 10, 20 years.
But it's funny because when I was the chief of staff in 18, the problem becomes that barbershop and beauty shops oftentimes occupy locations or business strips that people are trying to revitalize, and because the rent has fallen, you see beauty and barber shops going in. Beauty barber, if we saw beauty barber or a storefront church, we were like, no, we don't want to have it because we didn't feel like it contributed to the economy of the neighborhood because it was a cash business. They wasn't paying taxes. It brought people that were transient, etc. But I didn't think about it that way. I didn't think about it.
But I mean, as black people, these are the places that we have to go for service. So
It's real. One of the things you brought up that I think you should bring up on air and maybe even come back with it when you start is the fact that there's really barbershops are really the only thing that's really safe in the business in the neighborhood. And then shoot, while you tripping, your hair started breaking in when they was doing that hair, right? When black people, like, you ain't letting no white boy cut your hair. You going to a black barber. Even black dudes, man. Everybody, if you got black hair, you going to a black barber.
See, one of the things why it's frowned upon, this is the reality of it, is that the white businessman hasn't necessarily, besides him being your landlord, he hasn't found a way to monetize the black barbershop. Because, like you say, brothers are not going to go into a shop and there's 5 white guys in there and let them service them.
Barbershop quartet.
So,
Come on, we back.
well, they don't like it.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Charles Thomas. And Charles, we are talking to the owner of Hair Experts 1 and 2, sometimes barber, Vernon. Hey man, when you cutting, you know you've got barber banker hours. This is Vernon Spells. And Vernon, you pointed out something that I think we need to jump into, and then Charles, I'm gonna throw it back to you about the business of a black barbers and business ownership.
Yeah, so basically, the black barbershop and beauty salon is, for the most part, especially the black barbershop, is a business that whites haven't really found a way to monetize besides just renting some space to you. So what happens is we're the only ones that want to service our people. And then we turn around and we're frowned upon for exclusively, servicing, African Americans. We'll take, if anybody walks in, we're going to service them, of course. But there is some discrimination that's even at play when it comes to the gentrification of the neighborhoods and the new landlords that are moving in. They frown upon it, not necessarily because it's a bad business, because everybody, for the most part, is going to need some service. So the money is there. It's just necessarily, the landlords are being said, hey, this neighborhood's about to change, and we don't want anything that's going to attract more black people to this neighborhood. So, we get them out of here.
I was thinking. So Charles, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that's amazing. You mean to tell me they wouldn't want a barbershop because it would be attracting black people? They want to get rid of black people. Is what you're suggesting?
Yes. And within the past month, I've sat down with some major developers and property owners who are doing major development on the south side of Chicago with this regentrification. And I've asked about locations, I've asked about spots, and the guy would go out of the room and he would come back and say, well, I talked to the owner of the property. He may be the leasing agent or property manager, and he may say, hey, the owner just said that business won't fit this property's rent structure. That'll be a way of basically telling you, no, you don't want that there.
And so then, you think about that, Charles. And then, so now you start to see more barbershops pushed into areas like 71st Street, right? And so now you got to go in. So now as these brothers try to continue to be entrepreneurs, they're forced into an environment that is more of a dog-eat-dog world where you got to protect yourself, right? Because we know on 71st, no disrespect to anybody that lives there, but it's a mixed bag of tricks over there.
Right.
And what winds up happening is, so now, Vern, talk to me about the mentality of a barber who is now cutting hair on 71st Street as compared to 47 because he can't get into the new neighborhoods. What is he thinking as he tries to grow his business?
Well, most guys in that position, they're 1 foot in the business and they're 1 foot out. They've done everything that they know how to do. They've went to school. They've acquired the license. This brother Harith Augustus, he was licensed. He went to school. Most likely, he was paying his taxes.
How much? Let me ask a question. How much does a barber pay? Like what kind of rent does it? Because I know tell me the structure of a barbershop.
Well, it can go in 2 different ways. One, you have your commission shops where, basically, you would pay the owner or the register the money, and the barber or hairstylist would get credit for those services, and he would get a percentage of that pay. Or you have, is kind of like the independent contractor aspect of it, where you would just come in and you would quote unquote rent space or booth, and you would pay, starting out maybe a smaller amount, then it would lead up to exactly what that owner was charging. And in Chicago,
Ballpark
that
rate.
could be anywhere from $75 to $350
A week or a day?
A week.
What kind of money is a barber making? So give me an idea of what kind of, like if I'm on 71st Street and I go to get a haircut, what is a barber making there if he's working a full day on a Saturday?
Well, the range of pay can definitely changes from neighborhood to neighborhood. If you're dealing with professional people in a professional neighborhood, you could charge $35 for a haircut. If you're dealing with in a not so good neighborhood, I mean, you could pay $12 or $15. So it's a very wide range depending on when you're in a bad neighborhood or not so desirable neighborhood. Then it could, like you're saying, the competition is probably going to be a little higher. The storefronts are cheaper, so you have more of that type of business to compete with.
So because the store, is that why I see so many barbershops in lower, I don't want to say lower income, but not in high rent districts?
Yeah, well, one, the owner then has to figure out, can he get some high rent payers, a certain type of class of barbers that really appreciate this neighborhood and this community, and they're going to maximize it for its potential.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to Vernon Spills. He's breaking down for us the barber game. I think it's important because I think it frames this whole Harith Augustus story so we can understand why a person would be carrying a concealed weapon even without a license. And Vern, when we come back, I want to talk about that part because he was unlicensed, right? If he was unlicensed to carry a concealed weapon, don't he know that he could go to jail for this? There's the potential of getting stopped, especially in a neighborhood like that. And did he play the odds and did he just play the odds and lose? So Talk Chicago, we'll talk about it when we come back.
What is this now? I mean, in terms that I shave my head now. I was going to a barber, paying a barber. Now I don't. And this is like in the last couple of years.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't.
No.
It hasn't had any impact?
No, because it's just like someone, cooking at home, hurting the restaurant business, per se. And, there's too many grocery stores around here, it's going to hurt, all the high park restaurants because they put in so many grocery stores. No, that's not the case.
Well, I talked to a sister that used to, she's been in the hair business a long time. And she said that the whole phenomenon of the weave has hurt her business. She used to do like wash and set women, all the time, give them a perm. And now that business for women has gone down.
Yes, it has. That's true.
But
for women,
the bald head hasn't hurt.
No, it hasn't. It's just, hair is going to grow. You're going to need, even if you're doing it yourself, how often you have to perform services on yourself to stay well grown. So, just imagine if, a guy is being paid to take care of those services, then, he's going to be okay, But you're right, with the black hairstylists, yes, there is some trouble, because I operate not only barbershops, but I operate beauty salons too. And the most difficult part of my business is the female hairstyle. One, if you look up and down 47th and you look up and down, say, through Hyde Park, there's probably not one black beauty salon in Hyde Park, okay? Probably not one, because the Egyptians came in.
You hear?
Yeah, and they
started
came in,
burning that hair.
They came in, and they kind of, the young people might say finessed, the educated African American woman away from her sister that was doing her hair and saying, well, you don't have to deal with it's a little bit unprofessionalism or whatever. We're going to take care of you. We're not going to have to go pick up our kids in the middle of the day. We're not going to have to do some of those things that people, may chatter about that, may happen inside the black.
Well, you can go up anywhere. You don't see very many black female hair salons. You don't see very many anymore.
It's you like right where I'm at in my location in Bronzeville. There is a place that just opened, two Egyptian hair salons have opened in the middle of the black neighborhood on 47th, right off of College, and one right off of Drexel.
Why do you say Egyptian? Is that?
Because that's what they describe themselves as. It's not me calling them. That's what they describe them. This is an Egyptian hair salon. That's what they say, and I think that's how they kind of tie themselves into the black community by saying Egyptian, right? So they're popping up. And they're taking spaces that would normally have been small.
Okay. But that's the guy. You want me to find his email and forward it to you?
Right. And most of the times they don't hire any black
And they
women.
call themselves Egyptians. When an Egyptian is a very specific part of the world.
Right.
I mean, they're not Egyptians.
Right. But that's what they call themselves,
And black people fall for it.
yeah. And like just saying Hyde Park, you have at least about while we're talking about the fact that me and you know black beauty salons in Hyde Park, there are at least 5 to 7 Egyptian-owned beauty salons that only service black women. You don't see any women, no women of any other kind that support these businesses.
Remember when Yahia first popped off though, man? It was like the biggest thing was sisters going to Yahia so that they could because they knew how to flat iron your hair till it would be super flat, but they was burning your hair out. Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like everybody figures out how to cannibalize our industry. I think, and now with all this weave and all that stuff and us trying to make our hair straight. Right. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Rough. So
we're gonna break that down, and then I want you to. So let's go to the why does a guy carry a gun? But I want you to go back to that. I'm gonna say how does a guy know the odds? And then it'd be great if y'all went back to, man, we were talking off air about the fact that there's no black beauty salons right. Hey,
It's almost like they're the corner stores of the hair industry. Hair care industry. Right. It's like same as the corner stores, they just doing hair.
Right. Yeah. But see the thing that has in a lot of these type of jobs and careers, when I came up, they were what I like to call they were real barbers. If you were a barber, you were a barber for real.
What does that mean?
It means that you took care of your customer. You really respected that customer, and you were respectable. I kind of sound like Barbershop the movie, but this is actually how it went. You came in, everybody had on a uniform. It was a sense of teamwork, and that we were all working together. Now it's just like some of the guys they kind of let the professional standard go down. You got some of these guys, and I don't mean to kind of throw anybody under the bus, but you even have some of the school owners who are just trying to push a certain element into the industry. You're going and you're setting up schools inside the Cook County Jail.
Well, I feel like what they've made I used to enjoy going to my barber and enjoy the conversation and enjoy sitting down and enjoy the whole. Now, depending on what barbershop you go to, man, you go in and you just trying to get in and get out, right? What I love about your shop is no cursing. Right, so when my son, and I know I curse, but my son is there, I can bring him there, he can see the men. Well, I don't see it very much more though, like the old men sitting around talking, you can listen to the stories, but I also didn't realize that the barber shop, the red, white, and blue, on the pole was like the barber was the freaking surgeon,
Yeah.
right? Like the reason he was the surgeon, the dentist,
Yeah.
and the person who cut your hair.
Has history in all of those areas. You know, they used to do bloodletting. You know, barbers were the first dentists.
Right.
That's how dentistry got going, is through, you know, the barbers. And to this day, we still use similar type of reclining, relaxing, comfortable chairs.
That's the whole, but that's what I was saying, like the red, white, and blue from the pole,
Mm-hmm.
the barber pole,
Yeah.
was because of the dental surgery and barber.
Right.
All right, let's do it. The veins, it was like the red and blue were the veins,
Mhm.
arteries. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. And Charles, we are talking to the owner of Hair Experts 1 and 2, Mr. Vernon Spells. He is a part-time barber. You know, he got them banker barber hours, right? He is an entrepreneur, a developer as well. He got multifaceted. But today he's here to talk about the barber industry. Look, part of the reason we're talking about this is because of Harith Augustus. Talk to me about being a barber, and why would this guy, if he didn't have a concealed carry license, why would he carry a gun knowing that he could go to jail?
Well, I don't honestly know why, but I can speak to the possibility of why
Well,
he did it.
give me some possibilities.
And you know, he's on the ground in that community, in that neighborhood every day, trying to make a living. I heard they would always say you would always see him with his daughter walking up and down 71st Street or whatever. So just say you have a situation where, you know, someone has come into your business and they're trying to disrupt your business, and then you might have to ask them to leave. And sometimes you're not the nicest person when you're asking someone to please leave your establishment. And so now, you know, he might have been a target for some of the guys that, you know, he probably had some problem with him, and he wanted to protect himself, you know, and he's in there working. It's his community. He's a business person. He has a child. You know, maybe you know, that's the only way I could rationalize why he would take the risk of not having a concealed carry, but then still be walking down 71st Street with a gun, but trying to show that he had rights to have one, and he just wasn't.
Is that a choice that other barbers have to make?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know, I've heard of situations where, you know, people would come into a barber shop, and it's not always the barber shop itself and its activities that may bring drama or negative situation in. Sometimes it's the customers. We're open. It's an open door. You service in the community. Everybody is not going to be the best customer. And so if someone comes in and, you know, now someone else comes in and they have a problem with them, then you don't. You have to deal with it accordingly, or just at least try to protect your business, your customers, and yourself.
And if you carry the weapon every day, I mean, you have been, even before concealed carry was legal. I mean, it's almost like, it's not like it, but I mean, I've driven a car without insurance before. I mean, because I had to. I had to get somewhere. It's happened. I mean, you break, sometimes people break rules because they have to.
Is it, do you think that in some cases carrying a gun is necessary to be a barber?
In some cases, I wouldn't go as far to say necessary, you know, gun on him, and in the community that he was living. I understand, and with the business that he was doing, I understand.
Charles,
They're gonna immediately escalate to.
Now, let me say this, Charles, I agree, but what I'm not saying is that I agree with kind of what happened and probably how he handled himself. Once, it was discovered that he did have a weapon, if that was me and I was in his situation, I probably would have just complied. You took the gamble. You have a Ford card or whatever. You can legally have a weapon. You might not be able to carry it. I would have just complied. I probably wouldn't have gotten into a scuffle, a struggle.
What if they grabbed you? What if the cops all of a sudden grabbed you?
Well, me, I'm just speaking for myself. It probably would have never gotten to the point of them grabbing me. Once I was discovered, I probably would have just complied and then let the chips fall where they may. CPD, okay?
Let me tell you what I would have done. The second that they pulled me over, I know this is gonna sound real crazy, but the second that I knew I was being stopped with a pistol, I would have laid down on the ground.
Right.
I would have laid down on the ground and been like, I got a pistol. It is on my left hip.
Right.
Please take it.
Right.
I would have probably done, because, remember when they talked about the Black Panthers and they were in that shootout and they came outside completely naked because that was the only way they were not going to get killed? It almost feels like the same thing. Well, Vern, we're going to take some calls in a minute, but let me back up, because you and Charles were having a conversation that seems like it's right in our wheelhouse. What's in it for the black people? You said that there are no black beauty salons, black-owned beauty salons in Hyde Park? In Obamaland?
Yeah, well, I got my start in Hyde Park on 53rd across from Ribs and Bibbs, and there were, at that time, maybe about 3 or 4 black barber shops. I actually used to see Charles standing like 3 doors down from one, every day.
You was standing outside, Charles, on the
It
corner.
was Ribs and Bibs, man.
You ate Ribs and Bibs. Oh.
Ribs, you can find Charles at Ribs and Bibbs
back in the day.
and Starbucks, every day. Or, and they would play chess in Harper Square, so I would walk down and play a couple games of chess. I would always see Charles. So, yeah, there are a bunch of 5 to 7 Egyptian hair salons in Hyde Park, but there aren't any black beauty salons. So now
All them black people living in Hyde Park, all them black women, the upper crust, the upper echelon. You mean to tell me, where do they get their hair done?
Well, just like Charles said, with the weave culture taking off, a lot of them are just, adding extensions if they want their hair straight, or, they'll, find some little, salons here and there, but the Hyde Park, Bronzeville, those neighborhoods are starting to explode with Egyptian hair salons.
In Bronzeville?
Bronzeville, too. You have 2 that just opened, one by 47th and Cottage Grove across from McDonald's. You have one by 47th and Drexel. And so they slowly easing their way back west as the neighborhood changes.
But Egyptian, well, they call themselves that's a misnomer, because they aren't from Egypt necessarily, aren't they? Basically,
Arabs.
Arab-owned businesses. They're the Arab-owned equivalent of the corner stores in the beauty business.
Good God dang it. Good God dang it. These Arabs know, they see black people, and you know what they say? Money. Now, and you know what? Quiet as it's kept with this DJ Khaled stuff, they might be coming for the barber stuff too. You see, they be the beard experts. Look, we'll talk about it when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
Yeah, I was going to make a point when we get back. So what's going to happen as the regentrification starts to happen, everybody's talking bad about the black barbershop, just like they were talking bad about the black business or whatever. But then you're going to start to see the Floyd 99s and all. They already prepping themselves to enter these markets, to enter closer to the University of Chicago. They just put up there a place by my wife's job, John by Jones.
Man, I saw that one. The Floyd's right there, man, bro. And it's like, it's almost everything you would want. It's like white boys took barbershops, took them corporate, and then put everything that you want in a barbershop in that mud.
Yeah, they put it when you were talking about Fulton Market. There's one on.
I know, on Randolph. I walk past it when I go to Graziano's.
So so what they're gonna do is they're transitioning us out, and then it's not gonna be a problem with Floyd 99 comes in to operate their barbershop, or what's it?
It's a desirable business now.
Right. You know, it's how do I say it? It's kind of, they're showcasing all the history of barbering and all of this sort of thing.
So do y'all need to step y'all game up? Do the barbershops? I mean, it seems to me so let me say this, because I do go by those barbershops, and I always say, damn, right? Like if they did all of this at my barbershop, right, where like I feel like you go to those shops, man, you sit in a plush chair, like a big fat stupid leather chair. You feel like a man, right, when you go there, but you get like not man pampered, but like I almost feel like I could bust out a cigar in one of them joints and sit down, cigar, you could play poker, right? That whole kind of thing. You seen the one on Fulton Market? That's it's a barbershop in the front and a speakeasy in the back where it's a full out bar and everything.
Yeah.
It just seems like black barbers have not.
Well, we have to understand that one, that we are a very small part of the population, and the popular culture is just more people to service. So you put your business there, it's more people that can come in and patronize it. When I had my place in Hyde Park, I swear to God that if one white guy walked in to get a haircut, and there were other white people walking by, they would see him in there, and they would deem it friendly, and they would then come in. So next thing you know, we go from not seeing a white customer for weeks, to when one walks in, someone else, they walk by and they would see him in there, and they would say, "We're going in." This was something that we would sit back and have a chuckle about.
Okay.
We would know that it was happening.
Maybe that was something you could do. Hire a white boy for you.
Yeah.
Have a white boy stand out there with a sign.
I think it goes to a lot of African American owned business, because I think a lot of white people see a business with all black staff, and they're like, "That's a black business," and I'm not going in there. And that's why I think when you guys sit and you talk about, like, how many black servers you see at certain restaurants or whatever, those owners are like, they're like, "Man, we don't want to have too many blacks in here, so where our white customers think this is a black establishment." I'm telling you,
I believe that. You know what though I like about like the new barbershops? Nah, they ain't gonna let no white boy cut my hair. But they look like the old style, so they got the jacket with the vest, with the thing around their arm. Yeah. They got the hot towel. They got all the stuff that I used to love about going to the barbershop that they don't give you no more. Like,
we can talk about that. Every
we're back. You are tuned into Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Charles Thomas. Charles, this conversation is kind of interesting, man. This whole barber life, the barber mentality. You had one more thing. We're going to take a couple calls, but you were trying to say something, Vern, before we went to the calls. You forgot?
Yeah.
See, man.
Charles having a good conversation.
Was I finished?
Oh, Charles, go ahead. Oh, well, you go ahead.
No. I said that's old school.
Oh, okay. I was like, hey, man, I had some gummy bears yesterday.
That's a line from a Richard Pryor.
Oh, I had some gummy bears, so I can't remember anyway. Okay, let's go to Robert. Robert, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690 AM.
Thank you for taking my call. I have a question for Charles. Charles, I know you recall the woman who shot up the Eden's Expressway one evening, and the police waited till she ran out of bullets.
No, I don't.
Okay. Thanks, Robert. I was waiting for the current commission. Hey, Frank, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, brother Mays, brother Charles. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Say what's up to Vern, too, man.
Okay,
But what's up, Vern?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm saddened because we're not using this barber situation as a teachable moment. I'm a licensed gun owner myself, but I do not have a concealed and carry. Law says if I bring my weapon into the public, it must be visible from 3 different angles. Now, if he had his T-shirt tucked behind his holstered weapon, you can see it from the front, the back, and the side. Present your credentials. Now, he's legal. Okay, on your own property, you can carry weapon where you want to. I'm not sure about on your own business, but if the cops would drew down on him or try to take his weapon without saying you're under arrest or something else, we have a warrant, something else, he can protect himself.
Okay, if it was a fifth, a frog, we all be drunk. If a frog had a back pocket, he'd carry a pistol. Let's just be clear. If you got a job, if you got a gun, I don't care what the rules say, and CPD stops you, you are a 98% candidate for death. Right? 98. You got a 2% chance, and I said I was gonna lay on the ground, and I think they might shoot you while you're down.
Yeah, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, that's what it is.
Let's go to the phones. Sean, you're on the top of Chicago, 1690.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was calling because I just wanted to say what happened to him, I just don't feel like, of course, should not have happened to him. He was already standing there talking to an officer that was already taking care of that issue. That he was talking to the guy about showing his license, and the guy was pulling his information out at that time. So the thing is why did these other officers come and just bum rush him like they did? And then when they did that, that's what pulled his shirt up, and you can see his gun. And he knew he was in trouble then. That's why he was trying to run. And I do believe that at that same time, he was trying to pull his holster. Like when they would show the little pose that they are showing us, like he's grabbing for a weapon or something. It looked like he was probably just trying to grab the thing to throw it off. Because he knew that whenever a black person has a gun, they just shoot him.
Man, I'm going to tell y'all. There's so many ways that thing could go. Charles, I think you nailed it when you said it the very first day when you said it. You was like, it was disingenuous. You said that they tried to base. I don't know exact words you said, but basically they sent us off that Eddie Johnson played us bogus trying to show that.
It was self-serving what they did.
That's it, self-serving. Hey, can I point out something, Vern and Charles, because we want to make sure that we don't hurt any black businesses. I've been getting responses that says there are black beauty salons in Hyde Park. So we just need to make sure that we support them, and we got to find out who they are. Now, some of them have said that they keep themselves private, unknown, so that because they want to remain element free, right?
And they might not have the there's licenses that are involved, and maybe they're working slightly underground.
Hey man, all I know is, look, the black barber and beauty salons in Hyde Park said to let y'all know that they exist. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I also see though is all them sisters be like, girl, you see how straight your hair got? You got to go to your hair. Boy, it was cooking people here. People come back from your hair, they hair be straight because it was dead. Man, your grandmama had a hot comb. Y'all better start. You better stick with what you know. Daryl, you on the top of Chicago.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, May, Charles, morning. Hey, so I have a concealed carry permit, and my class was taught by a Chicago police officer. And we took a look at some of the other shootings, and obviously with the exception of some of the obvious ones. One of the things that she made clear was that the way police are trained is to escalate as we escalate. And then, of course, in a situation where they ask you for something, as long as we stay calm, they don't get excited. But soon as we get a little bit out of pocket, they're going to escalate it further. And that seems to be, when I went back, we watched some of the videos in class of some of the other shootings, and I understand how it happened, although I don't disagree that there certainly is an additional harm that's on black folks while we're doing anything. But, we have to do everything we can not to give them a reason to shoot us.
Can I tell you what? Even if we don't give them a reason to shoot us, you will get shot. Hey man, Laquan was walking dead down the middle of the expressway. Right? You got video. He was walking down the middle of the street. They shot him. You got cops rolling through our neighborhoods, telling us. But I'm saying just right here in Chicago, in Chatham, right? They roll up, say we kill MFs, right? Bro, the fact of the matter is, I don't know if there was anything once that brother engaged and he had a pistol, licensed or not. I don't know if there was any way for him to come out of that alive. I don't. I mean, because he had his wallet out. He was complying. The lady reached and lunged, and I'm just telling you, could you imagine being sitting there with that gun and knowing that right now I'm about to die? Because you know, and the second your heart is beating, and then she reaches for it, and you like, damn, and you jump. Look, this is Top Chicago 1690 and Vern. We appreciate you being here. We'll be back, and when we come back, Doug E. Fresh.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation.
There you go, Vern.
WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Got your moment? You want to say something to the Lions Den?
Lots of sunshine on this July night.
Burning spells.
Charles, I brought you some steak sauce too, man. That little cup. Now, see, I brought you some steaks. Never my employees wouldn't give you that extra steak sauce.
Did you bring me some steak sauce?
I said, y'all gonna get yourself in trouble. All right.
Vern, appreciate you, man.
All right.
You coming out this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right.
All right.
Hey, y'all. Take a moment to share the broadcast. Nah, they wouldn't have felt no different. Yeah, here's the thing. There's just fundamentally, y'all, if you are stopped by a CPS with a pistol, CPD with a pistol, it's just tough to get an outcome, y'all. It's just tough to get an outcome. A desirable outcome. Hold on, I'll be right back. We're not gonna play you over.
All right. Call you the voice, right? Yeah.
Look. on my show. They better not play me on my Dougie Fresh. Doug E. Fresh. Oh, my show. Oh, my show. Oh, my show. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in the bed. No more backwards thinking. Time for thinking ahead. The world's changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Whoa, whoa, wake up all the people. All right, y'all, let me say what's up. What up, Kang Mufasa Red? Kang Father Flavor took your name. The Kang. What up, Sly Townsend? What up? Check what info, Sly. What up, Albany? Oh, okay, yeah. I'll check today. What up, Francis Lake? What up, Charmaine Henry? What up, Denise Russell? What up, Reese Mizzo? What up, Tiger Lily? Chess, etc. Nicole Rogers. Tiger Lily. Shonda Sunshine. Reese Mo. Neek Hudson. What up, George Lee? Roberto Sepulveda. What up, Quasi Amoa? Oh, damn it! Quasi, Quasi, you want to see if y'all can do it tomorrow? I don't think we have, I don't know if we have, we could probably try and do it tomorrow. See if we can do guns, but I want somebody with some guns. What up, Carolyn Ray? What up, Carol R. Muhammad? Ask Todd, tell Todd I want to do, gun rights advocates tomorrow. Like, concealed carry. Can we do Quasi Amoa and the 761st? And then they gonna bring some guns. What up? Quasi, can you make tomorrow? What up, Celine? What up, Charmaine? What up, Leah Charrier? Marquin McDonald, Sean J, all the way from Brooknon. Sammy Moo. What up, Leonard Hayes Sr.? What up, Tamiko? What up, Thyatira Towns? Jeanette Braids.
Patient number 8. Patient is exhibiting hallucinations. She is also exhibiting dissociative identity issues, multiple personalities.
What am I doing? I need.
Teresa is a classic sociopath.
All right. Hey, I think we're going to see the Snowfall premiere tonight.
That's me.
Season 2 Snowfall premiere tonight. Is Dougie on the phone? Yeah. Oh, you can come too. Don't be acting. Now, didn't you come and do chess? Don't you be acting like that. I've been played. Hustle. They told me I was getting some. Stop watching, Lamont. Is that him? Is he there? Is that him? They made me miss. Todd is doing yoga too. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. Now, Charles, you know how we do at the top of every hour, at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. When you hear that music, you know I got the I got to get my stretch on. That is the yoga, but we got to say what's up to the WVON morning show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as Miss Sonia Escobar. Now, let me tell y'all, somebody, as well as
Oh my God. That's me. That's me. I don't know what that means, man.
Sonia, look at Brown Sonia behind back there doing some yoga too. I see you, Brown Sonia. You got that? Come on now. I'm gonna stop talking and let you get it. Hey man, why don't you know what? This is the WVON morning show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. That was Charles Thomas in the background doing
total disarray.
It's all good, man. Discombobulation. It's all good. It is the time. No worries, man. No worries. This is why we teamwork make the dream work. Hey, it's the WVON morning show. And you know, I was expecting a call from, excuse me, Dougie. Excuse me, Dougie. Excuse me, Dougie Fresh, you're on. So I'm waiting for the DeVita to find that piece of it out. But in the meantime, Charles, I'm going to go back to this conversation that we just had because we got some calls. And I want to take them. Let's go to Flash. Flash, you're on the Talk of Chicago, 1690.
Yeah, that's what you're doing this morning.
I'm doing.
Hey, I love your show. I've been listening for a while. I praise you guys. I like your slogan. What's in it for black folks? But get to the point. You know, specifically, more cops are hurt or killed by white males. Just that for some apparent reason, when we're carrying a gun, we're a big threat. If you go out north right now, you got white kids. They're so belligerent. I mean, the way they treat policemen. They come in our neighborhood and try to diss us. I don't blame them for responding like that. You know?
But you don't blame who for responding? The police? You don't blame who for responding like that?
Well, I tell you, you go out north, you see it all the time. Okay? I got brothers and them are police officers and nephews. And they're more disrespectful by white kids than anything else. Because white kids know one thing. They're not going to arrest. They're going to try to talk to them and bring them down. Just try to settle the situation. Just that way, I grew up in the 60s where policemen just harassed the heck out of the message just changed. There's no difference. As long as you're black, you with a gun, or they feel you got a gun, you look threatening, they're going to stop you and harass you.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I just think that Charles, I think one of the other things you hit on that I don't think we have come up with is how do you address black people? How do you address black people with guns knowing that this country was meant for black folks not to have guns?
And that's that is the crux of the problem. Even though there is concealed carry legal in Chicago, I wouldn't do it. Not with these police, because I don't care who you are. You're a black man with a gun, they're not going to ask you for a permit or a FOID card. They're going to see a black man with a gun.
But Charles, at the same time as we just heard Vern say, man, you in some of these neighborhoods, man, you're trying to protect your stash, i.e. your money, and your life. I mean, what do you do in a barbershop when somebody decides they want? Have you ever been in a barbershop and somebody got out of pocket? Like came in there being belligerent, snapping off, talking about what they was going to do to somebody?
And usually there's a group of men in the barbershop, the barbers, and the customers that can handle it.
But usually that's because somebody in the group can handle it.
Could handle it.
Right? It's somebody, look, because let me tell you, in the barbershop, somebody in the shop can handle it.
And all that person who can handle it needed was a FOID card. Can't walk outside that shop with just a FOID card. But you have that FOID card and you got Roscoe in there with you.
Coltrane.
You can deal with it because that's legal. But you go out on that street with it on you, then it's illegal.
Charles. And then it is the whole challenge of, they discriminate against black folks even getting concealed carry cards, right? There's an issue. They say that they reject non-felon black folks. So this thing is really, y'all, it's bothersome for me. And bothersome, I don't mean it in a dismissive way. I feel like there is, like when the practicality of a law sounds good, but the practical execution or the practical execution, but it was what it actually is.
And that's precisely the problem.
The practical execution of a black person with a concealed carry license. I mean, Charles, I don't know. Fundamentally, I don't care what rules. I know Art called us yesterday and said he done been stopped with his gun 5 times and got away with it. But I'm worried, man. Let's go to the phone lines. Hopefully, man, I hope this is my man Mike Brown. Mike, you're the Talk Chicago 1690.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Oh, this is my other Mike. What's up, Mike?
Check in. Hey, man, look. This is something that is specific to Chicago. Look, Eddie Johnson's a problem. But dude, Eddie Johnson, no matter what his police do, he protects them. He covers them, no matter how ridiculous a protection is for him. The thing is, nobody's saying for him to be anti his boys, but be fair. Isn't he supposed to be a public servant? He's not serving us.
Oh, you said that yesterday.
Therein lies the problem. He's emblematic of the bigger problem in this city with a bunch of our black folks who are in positions, our aldermen, our various representatives who are not taking the responsibility to our community that they should have and not doing what they should be doing for us.
I wish we could hear from a police officer because, they're out there every day. They have a weapon on them. They have the right to use deadly force. How are they reacting when they see a weapon? Are they asking? Are they thinking? I wonder if it's illegal concealed carry. I wonder if he has a FOID card. What are they thinking?
Charles, So real talk. So a lot of this, I get 2 ears, right? That's why I always go to look at Second City, right? But I got a cop that talks to me all the time from the perspective of a police officer. Man, when he saw that tape, he was like, man, sorry. As soon as we saw that gun and the dude moved away, he was dead. Like, everybody wants to go home. And he was, and honestly, he is empathetic to our issues. He's a black cop, right? And he always like, man, is this what you didn't see? This is what you got to understand. And he was like, Charles, when he saw the tape, and we were commiserating over it, he saw the tape, he was like, first of all, I'm glad I wasn't working. But let me tell you what he also said. He also said that they messed up when they let those people start throwing rocks. They was like, you're back in the old days? Oh, you want to throw something? You want to throw a bottle of water at the police? That's how it did. And something just ain't right, Charles. We're going to talk about it when we come back to Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk
Excuse me, Dougie. Excuse me, Dougie. Excuse me, Dougie Fresh, not on. Can I ask a question? Have we heard from any, like, where's Kwame? Where's the Attorney General? Come on. Hold on.
Right, that lady wrote most of their biggest hits.
CPD was just outside.
Talk about answering the call, huh?
What's up, Ted? Was that you? Yeah, man, you should have pulled up. We talking about y'all right now.
The hangover is good, man. It's a 50-50, man. 50% chance the cop might go down, 50% chance the man might go down. Come on, man. Y'all got to be fair. And Charles, come on. Much you ride in the hood and you're a friend with Rush Ewing, that's a 50-50 chance, man. The first thing y'all do, y'all don't like the police, is when something go wrong, y'all call the police. When Eddie first got on, he was firing everybody. Now all of a sudden, Eddie just took a little turn and he's supporting people. People don't want Eddie no more. Hey, dude, that was a time when the rank and file didn't want Eddie.
Hey, so Ted, y'all, be anonymous and call in. I'll let you say it.
Man, I'm telling you, man, you hurt my heart, man. That when the brother come and jack you for that Porsche, don't call the police.
Oh, damn, dog!
Do me a favor.
You
call Charles Thomas, man. You know what I'm saying? Since Charles said, brother, you know, he don't trust the police, he'll call Charles. I like Charles. Charles always did a good job. He always had a nice blazer on when he came on the street in the hood and, you know, did his report, man. Y'all eating us alive. Let me ask you a question. What's the one thing that we can do good, man? Tell me what's the one thing we can do good, man. I'm going to ask you that on the air. What's the one thing that the police can do good?
You want me to give you hey, Ted, hey. You want the hotline? Do you want the hotline? I'll give you the hotline.
Soon as you come back on, I'm going to call you right back.
Okay, you wait.
Be anonymous, and we're going to have good old dialogue, me and you and my man Chucky.
Ooh, you'll do it for real? Here, I'm going to go put my phone in this. Here, let me give, hold on, let me give you a number to call.
Most of their biggest hits. Women wrote most of their biggest hits. Stylistics, that's right. A white woman wrote most of their biggest hits. A white woman? A white woman. A white woman? Most of their biggest hits, that's right. That's right. That's right. The Stylistics to be featured at this weekend's Stylistics appearing live. That's right. All right. Stylistics appearing this weekend.
Okay. Y'all want a combo? We about to have a combo. Oh, what's up, Coop?
WVON, that's my choice. My choice. Cook County. County, Medicaid. This is contact, next level help. These last $2, $2. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose.
Come on, man, because we about to go on. Come on. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Charles Thomas. Charles, hey, man, the phone lines have been blowing up, but then, you know what? I saw, the post, we sit in the window. And so the po-pos done rolled by.
Yeah, I saw that.
The po-pos said they got something to say. Now, I hear that one of the po-pos got the hotline number and wants to talk to us about what is going on from the police officer's perspective. Now, I told you I got guys that talk to me all the time, and they tell me, Maze, I'm going home. I'm going home, and I ain't taking no chances with not one of y'all.
You're right, because I bet you, I would bet you that right now in Chicago, you got more people out there with a gun who don't have a concealed carry license, who are out here trying to do wrong with the gun. And the cops have to make that judgment. A split second. It's a tough job, man. I mean, that goes for black cops, white cops, Chinese cops, Latino cops. All these cops have to make split second decisions about what they do when they see a gun.
So my man just called me. He said, man, it's a 50-50 shot, man. It's a not shot, chance in that situation. And when the dude did the ballet dance, call back, man, call back. You listening, call back. You got the number, stop being scared. He said that when they saw the spin move, they was like, oh, that's it right there. That's it. And then my man said to me, he said, well, name something to me that the police can do right. What would you be happy with that the police did? You're in the neighborhood, and it goes to that point I was talking about yesterday when I asked, are the voices of the protesters drowning out the voices of the people in the neighborhood who have to deal with that violence? Because the officer was just like, man, who y'all gonna call, Maze? Call somebody. Who you gonna call then the next time you got a problem? Look, let's see. The phone line keep going away on me. Is that him and it's hanging up? It's the Talk Chicago 1690. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Mike Brown. He teaches concealed carry. Mike, what happened?
The police did not have any probable cause or reasonable suspicion to stop him. I watched the press conference with Eddie Johnson. He stated the officers saw a bulge that appeared to have the characteristics of a gun. Terry versus Ohio states that there has to be reasonable, articulable suspicion, and it can't be something so simple as a bulge, because a licensed concealed carry holder could exhibit a bulge too. If they were really from that community and they were doing patrol like they were supposed to be doing, they should have known he was the barber. How did they not know he was the barber? What made him a criminal?
Ooh, Mike. So, look, Charles, to provide us some perspective from a police officer's point of view, I got anonymous Officer Q on the phone. Officer, what's the matter, man? Why y'all shoot the brother? Officer?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
That is may I say, a 50-50 situation. If that officer or those officers don't do anything, there's a great chance he turns around and gets his shot off. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get his shot off. An officer or a citizen in that business behind that glass did not get hurt. But however, Hello?
Go ahead, we listening.
Oh, but there seems to be nothing right that a Chicago police officer can do. When a police officer get hurt, y'all don't go in that neighborhood and mark that officer got hurt. Y'all don't. But everything that we do, the first thing you want to do when the superintendent don't agree with y'all recommendation is y'all want to dump the superintendent. Y'all want to say he's incompetent. That man got a star and 2 bars on that arm. That means he got 30-plus years of service. He knows what he's doing. He has done a good job and weeding out a lot of bad cops. But y'all cannot run him. You can't run the department. The clergy don't let the police come there and run the church and tell them to take one offering and not 3 offerings.
So, officer, let me ask you a question. Because you black, right? Are you black, officer?
No, yes, I am.
Okay, so, officer, do you understand the challenge that we have trusting the police in so many cases? I call the police when I got a problem. But do you understand when we see Laquan McDonald, when we see Betty Jones, when we see Rakia, do you feel any empathy for Harriet Augustus for dying? I mean, the situation was unfortunate, but it's kind of like, oh well.
I feel for Betty Jordan's family. That was a pure tragedy. My heart goes out to her people. Whether you got $14 million or you got $2 million, my heart still goes out to you in that situation. The Laquan McDonald, hey, there's nothing I can say in behalf on the department in a right situation. He's walking away. Fine. But as far as this situation, the one that we talked about today on 71st, the one that the people marched, the one that the people watched the cameras, and they were not satisfied with what they seen because they friend, they buddy got shot and killed. What can the police do to satisfy you, Charles Thomas, and the rest of the city of Chicago? You tell me what we could do to make it happy. Put our guns down and just come around and do paperwork. If we took one day off, y'all would be on the news crying that the police didn't come to work for one day.
Hey, no, I agree with you on that, brother.
Can I tell you
I agree with you on that, brother, 100%.
So we got to find a common denominator. We got to find a common denominator that works for both sides. Don't come in my face skinning and grinning when everything's calm and then you want to talk crazy about me when it's not going right. That is not fair to superintendents. That ain't fair to the people of Chicago. Not at all.
Officer, so let me get you the whole. I know we got some more guests coming, but I want to continue this conversation too. It's Tough Chicago 1698. We'll be back.
Live from the WVON News.
I'll be right back. I forgot we got Charles' choice. I forgot.
A white woman wrote most of their biggest hits. That's right. The Stylistics. That's right. Name Linda Creed. Stylistics. Remember the name, the white woman behind the Stylistics, Linda Creed. Yeah, I wanted to say Stoned in Love with You by the Stylistics.
Come on in.
Mr. Thomas,
How you doing, my brother? How are you, sir?
to meet you for like
How you
2
doing?
decades.
2 decades. Yes.
This is Brian Hudson.
Brian? Yes, sir.
Okay, Julia, go in the first chair. Okay. Deandra, go in this chair.
Act so.
Okay.
'Cause I can act so. Love that, man. I remember that.
Jared, we're gonna put you to the left of Charles. Okay. Right over here. And Jared over here.
Let me get set.
Jared. Sydney.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, and now we're gonna get another chair for you, Byron. Brian, I'm sorry.
So, you see Julia. Julia.
Brian, we gotta go old school for you here. All right.
DeAndre. Jared, obviously.
Okay.
Sydney.
We got one more. Hold on a second. We got one more. We got one more. Okay, we're gonna put you next to, Deandra over here, okay? So, and what we have to do, you gotta get in closer to her, okay? We gotta get in closer.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How you feeling, sir?
Good, bro.
Appreciate. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
So you gotta get in real close, and when you talk into the microphone, you have to talk directly into the microphone, okay? So when he comes to you, you gotta lean into the microphone. Same with you. You have to lean.
Is this
right?
my
You gotta get
Southside
that far away
Axo
from
shirt?
it. So get up close to
I
it.
used to sponsor the Axo Awards back in the day.
Understand? So get close.
I didn't even know.
You gotta talk right into the
I didn't know
microphone,
Axo was still cracked, so I'm gonna say that on air, right? So you all are all Axo Award winners. Oh wow! Like it, you know what? So when I was young, so first of all, in a different life, I used to be the director of urban marketing for Coca-Cola. So I used to be responsible for sponsoring the program. She's practicing. But I haven't heard very much about Axo here lately. I feel like I've heard about it in Houston, right? But I don't hear about much of it. And I didn't even think that there was active Southside NAACP.
It is. It's just finding volunteers, man. I mean, the president got a full slate of stuff that she wants to do, but the same 5 people can't save the neighborhood.
Okay.
See here? And
Also,
get right into the microphone when you talk, okay? So
Chef Blackman said, "What up?"
What up, David Blackman, official? Hey, y'all, this is Brian Hudson. So you see him on Facebook Live. He's part of the Den every morning. But he also runs the Southside Axo program, reviving it. And you are seeing all of our wonderful young people that are in the building. This is actually one of Sonia's students. Which one is Sonia's student? Upward Bound. See how small the world is?
I don't have enough headphones to go around, but all the headphones are at least working here. You really need to hear headphones to hear callers. I don't think we're going to get to a lot.
We're probably not going to do a lot of callers.
So just very, very important to get into the microphone whenever you're speaking. Okay? So
Y'all got it? So just lean in. What's your name? Say hi, you on Facebook Live.
Sydney Williams.
Sydney Williams. What's your name, brother?
Jared Selman.
All right. What's your name, brother?
Brian Hudson.
All right. You too, sis?
Julia.
All right. Okay. All right. Now, these are our Axo Award winners from the Southside competition?
Yeah.
There's one name I'm missing here. Who am I missing? I got Julia, Deandra, Jared, Sydney, Julian. Is that everybody?
Get it right. You're messing up the
Okay,
stuff.
we got everybody. There you go. All right.
Brian, Julia, Deandra?
Deandra.
Okay, Deandra. Jared? Okay, so I'm going to go Brian, Julia, Deandra.
Julian.
Wait.
You got Julian? Yeah. Oh, you missing Julian.
That's what I said. I thought I had an extra
no,
person
no.
in here. Just one extra person.
Julian.
Yep.
That's
So
not an H.
Nope. It's Julian.
There's another
and
person.
then
There's
Julian.
one more person.
His brother right here.
Give me a pen. So guess what?
Wait, because they should be in order the way they're sitting. Just add the one person.
So
Where did I put him?
Julian comes after Julian.
There you go.
Julian Brundage.
Brundage. No, what's your name?
Jared.
And what's your last name?
Selman.
Jared Sydney. So you just had him in the wrong space.
Okay. Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay.
Don't mind me. I'm special. Ask him about your experience at the National Axo Competition. It's a beautiful thing to see. Young people show up and show out. Do Page Axo. Yeah. Y'all lost to Do Page?
Oh, no.
No.
Is it a Bolingbrook Axo program?
They part of DuPage County.
You know how we do, man. So Bolingbrook didn't win?
So here, the state of Illinois won.
Okay.
Because
Bolingbrook had to put y'all over the top.
We not, bro. We had.
I'm just playing.
We had, I think, a total of 20 medals.
Really?
11 golds. You can only win 30. It's only 32 medals. 32 gold medals. State of Illinois took 11.
Okay. Charles is about to do his choice, and then we're gonna get live. Now y'all don't be in here acting all scary, Cause I turn up.
Yeah, Junior.
I ran out of coffee, else we'll really have a problem.
You want to show him your project, bro.
You can hear the music going.
I sent the message last.
How come nobody asked me to be a judge?
Oh, you will be asking shit. You'll be.
This playing on the radio right now? This playing on the radio right now?
Get ready. It's a 7-second delay. Go ahead, put them on.
One of the many hits written for the Stylistics by the late Linda Creed. A white woman wrote most of their biggest hits? That's right, the Stylistics live at this weekend's Taste of WVON. That's my choice, brought to you by Next Level Health. If you live in Cook County and need Medicaid services, contact Next Level Health. Maze?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Talk Chicago 1690. That is Charles's Choice, as we do every day after the 8:30 break. But what the heck is going on? Y'all done packed out my studio. But you know what I love to see, Charles? You know, I love the kids. I love the kids, the children. But actually, you know what, Charles? Oftentimes, like I say, when we have moments like this, they always tell the story about the black children that are victims, that are criminals, that are involved in the negative. Very rarely do they tell the story of the excellence that our black children display on a daily basis. Now, there's a lot of outlets, but one of the outlets to express our youth black excellence is the NAACP AXO Awards. Now, Charles, what you know about the AXO Awards?
Man, I've been hearing about the AXO Awards in cities all over the country. Everywhere I work, man, on the West Coast, East Coast, here in Chicago, where I grew up. I mean, the AXO Awards have been around for decades, and they have shown a spotlight on black excellence among our young people.
But here, Charles, lately, the NAACP, I haven't heard or seen much of it, particularly on the South Side. Now, the West Side, I've seen a lot. But my man, Brian Hudson, but he also, you ain't gonna hold it, you know, we got A. Langston, Taylor Leonard F. Morris. He's a Sigma man. He's working to bring and revitalize the AXO Awards on the South Side of Chicago. And today, he has brought with him 5 AXO winners who won 30. The Illinois competition, I won 30 or 36 medals.
It's 32 medals.
Talk to the mic.
It's 32 medals. State of Illinois brought back 11 golds, and I think a total of 20.
So back up. Tell us what exactly is the AXO Awards.
So actually, it's the AXO program. So there are about 90 chapters around the country that actively host AXO local competitions. The Chicago South Side is part of maybe 10 branches in the state of Illinois. We've been doing this about 7 years. We've been active for the last 6 years. AXO stands for Afro-American Academic, Cultural, Technological, Scientific Olympics, or AXO.
Oh, so wait, it's not a sports Olympics.
It's the Olympics of the mind.
Okay. So now tell me, when you have the Olympics of the mind, what type of competition is that? I mean, what you doing when you compete? I know when you're running for track and all of that stuff, but when you're talking about the competition of the mind, what are the categories?
So we have around this table, we have a painter.
Closer to the mic. We
have a painter, a sculptor, a culinarian, who's a product of CPS, David Black and Go Mob.
Blue Fly, you know.
His students. We have a poet who's also an athlete. So he does, you can be smart and still run and jump, but he's here because of his poetic skills. And this young lady on the end who went to Lindblom, swoop, swoop, swoop.
Oh, God.
She's one of them.
The Lindblomers.
And she's an engineer.
And so they have all of those competitions in AXO?
32 categories. Humanities, performing arts, visual arts, culinary arts, entrepreneurship and STEAM, which includes architecture, but covers all the sciences. It's a lot.
Is this the last great program of the NAACP? Because we don't hear too much about the NAACP anymore in terms of activism.
Not by sight, man. Rose Joshua is our current president. We have a board of maybe, an active board of maybe 15 people.
Southside branch.
Southside branch. We need Southsiders to come out and volunteer. They meet every second Saturday at the Avalon Park Library on Swanee Island. We need folks to come out. They can't save the neighborhoods by themselves.
You know, one thing that about the NAACP, I've been in other cities where it's one organization. Here in Chicago, we got Southside branch, Westside branch, DuPage branch, and then these branches. Have you ever talked about, or is there any new movement to try to combine things and make it one NAACP?
Well, I think they serve different regions, but we have an Illinois NAACP. So we operate under one leader in the state, but somebody from Southside Chicago can't take up any civil rights acts for somebody in East St. Louis.
So but you know what? Let's talk about the kids, right? Let's talk about, we are here to celebrate these young black children for what they've done. So why don't we go around the table and let's find out what each one of you all do and what you did in the AXO competition.
Where's the name?
So wait, hold on. So while you start, let's start with Julia Pius. Julia, tell us what high school you went to and tell us what you did with the AXO program.
Okay, good morning. My name is Julia. I went to Hyde Park Academy. I'm an incoming freshman at Columbia College, Chicago. And for the AXO Olympics, I painted a piece called Silencing the Youth.
Okay, so you're a painter.
Yeah.
And that's a great, is that for me? Are you selling that?
It's for sale.
Okay, so hold on, because I'm gonna probably try and cop that. So Julia, you're a painter. So next to you is sitting Julian Brundage. Julian, grab the mic. Talk to us. What did you do, Julian?
Good morning, I'm Julian Brundage. I'm a 15-year-old sophomore at Thornridge High School, and I compete in sculpture.
Okay, so how you learn about sculpture, brother?
So I have this glass mentor named Kosi, and I found out about blowing glass when I was 13 years old. Going through some tolerance day when I got shot, and so I've been taken to this place called the Firehouse, so I've been blowing glass ever since then.
Whoa. You got shot? You know what? We're gonna come back to you, right? Because that's important. Next up, we have Deandra Moore.
Yes.
Deandra, what'd you do?
So I attended Barbers Professional Career Academy.
Okay, and what was your skill?
I competed in culinary arts.
What did you make? What's your dish? Tell me, cause I like to eat.
I made duck a l'orange.
Duck a l'orange? They don't make no duck a l'orange. What, from Dunbar?
Yes.
Oh man, okay. Now we got another. Now I want to say I got to give you a special shout out, Jared, because Jared, you are also a student of our very own Sonia Escobar in the Upward Bound program. Tell us what you did.
So I did performance poetry. I did a piece about religion.
You did that like, I am the sky to the blue as I see, and I roll around. Oh, you didn't do that? Okay. And then last but not least, Sydney, what did you do?
I competed in engineering. I created a car that is operated using electrical impulses from motor neurons. So every time you flex your bicep, it drives.
Wait, what? At the NAACP AXO Awards, they are teaching engineering, poetry, painting, sculptures, and you made some duck a l'orange. Look, y'all, this is why we've got to keep exposing our young people to these programs. It's the NAACP AXO program for the South Side. Look, when we come back, we're going to ask you all to tell people how can they get involved in the AXO program. It's the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Charles Thomas. We'll be back. Man, y'all, that is impressive. So first of all, let me get a picture of that painting. That's super dope. How much are you selling it for?
I got a few people that's looking.
Oh, dang. Look, she trying to start a bidding war on her brother.
It's worth a bidding war, bro.
Hey, that's beautiful. Look at that.
This is what a gold medal looks like, bro.
Do you have more work?
Yes, I'm a painter. So that's why I want to go into my field of painting. And
Really? How did you get into painting?
I come from a creative household, so all my ideas get into writing and drawing and things like that. So I've always done it.
Okay. Uh-oh, you gonna have to tell me. I'm gonna see that sculpture. Okay, talk to me about this duck a l'orange. What made your duck a l'orange so special?
So I made an orange glazed sauce that was different from like what you usually make with duck a l'orange. Usually you just make the sauce out the pan and cook it in. But I topped it off with an orange glazed sauce to like tweak it a little bit.
Oh, because you learned from Chef David Blackman.
Yeah.
Now you know Chef Dave is a member of the Lions Den. Shout out to Chef David Blackman. Do you plan to go into culinary arts as a career?
I do. I plan on going to the Culinary Institute of America and Hyde Park, New York.
Now, what was part of your gold medal prize? What else you get other than $2,000? What you get to go to see?
I got a $75,000 scholarship to the Culinary Institute.
Get 75,000. Oh, how much they give you? Oh, it's some inequity here. There's some inequity here. All right, brother, what you got? What's all this fancy stuff? What's this? What that is?
It's my box for my sculpture.
It's your box for your sculpture? Okay, show it to me, man. Oh, you got, can you pick it up or you can't pick it up? You scared? Pick that one up for me.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
You made that? Yourself? You had that big the thing and you got to blow and turn? Let me see.
So.
Okay. Cool. What you do, man? Jump through the sky.
No. It's completely different from that. Different from that. I don't know, man. It's more conscious. It's more serious. It's more,
what's the name of it?
The piece is called Free Will.
Give me one line. Give me 2 lines that round.
God made the world. The man made the scripture. So if he created victims, why he go and make a victim? If he created saints, why he go and make a sinner? If he created a rock, why he go and make a healer? Why did he make the poor richer? God is omniscient. How did he not know that Adam and Eve went fruit picking, strange fruit hanging, strange fruit like New Timberlands? That's all I'm gonna give you right now.
Done! You got skills. Last one. Okay, let me make a muscle. No, I'm just playing. So tell me, how did you decide to do this muscular? Wait, you did a car that did what? Huh?
I created a car that converts electrical impulses into kinetic energy. So every time you flex, it will drive a car a certain distance. And I've been a part of the National Society of Black Engineers since I was 14.
NSB. Hey! Your parents engineers?
No.
How you find out about NSB?
Through my school at Lindblom.
Dick Nabbit, Lindblom. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Don't nobody want to hear about Lindblom. Go Raiders! Bolingbrook. Okay, sorry. Okay.
So this is 40 years in, man. This is the 40th anniversary of Axel's program. This is the 40th anniversary of Axel.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you put all that. You gotta cram all of that and everything you want them to know. So Brian, I'm gonna come back to you.
Okay.
Tell people how they can get involved in the program, what the Axel program does, what they can win. Okay.
Okay.
What y'all doing? Y'all ain't know we got down like that on VON, huh? You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, y'all. I am sitting in the presence of black excellence. You know what? Sometimes I worry about the future, but when I'm sitting here after I have seen, man, y'all, I am looking at the top. Man, I met a young sister here that said if I flex my muscles, I can make my car go. Now, my car ain't gonna go very far because I got little muscles. This brother just dropped a freestyle poetry. See, I thought he was gonna be like, fly to the sky. But you know what? He dropped a conscious piece of knowledge that you don't expect to hear from our young people. Then, my little sis over here, I mean, she got me around here talking about some duck à l'orange. Duck à l'orange. See, I did that with the French spin on it. À l'orange. Because she made a special sauce that she learned at one of our own WVON listeners program, Chef David Blackman. My brother got this box over here with these glass sculptures that I was scared to touch because I feel like it's one of those you break it, you bought it. But I'm going to tell you, your mom has to be proud every time you blow that glass. And little sis, this painting, look, I tried to buy the painting, and she said, I have offers. So, so don't forgive me. You know, when you get the little pieces, don't forgive me. But Brian Hudson, give us how do people find out about the AXO Awards, AXO program? How do they get involved? And you won $75,000, and all of y'all won at least $2,000, right? Yeah. So, Brian, talk to us about how people can get involved.
So we'll start the program back up in September. We usually meet at the Bessie Coleman Library at 731 East 63rd Street, 10 a.m. to 12:30, the second and fourth Saturday every month. If you want to go to the website, it's AXO, ACTSO, Chicago Southside, all one word, .org. You'll have our schedule. There's a donate button there because we need financial support to keep. I mean, you don't see this on the news. You barely see it in the newspaper. But we got some extremely gifted, beautiful black kids that the community needs support. This is what Vernon Jarrett started this program for 40 years ago. So this is the 40th anniversary. We just got back from the National Convention for the NAACP in San Antonio, Texas. It's hot down there too.
Thanks, brother.
But Brian, how many young people are involved locally altogether? I mean, these are 5 winners, but there are a lot more young people that are involved. What's the capacity that you have for young people in the program?
So over the course of this past year, we probably hosted 80 to 85 potential students. Some of them find that the work is too hard to really focus on. A lot of our students do a lot of other different stuff. So getting them to commit to something like this, it gets a little tricky, but the students around this table, whether they're with us or if they're in the NASB Saturday program, they're putting the work in. So if you put the work in, this is the end result.
Wonderful.
The state of Illinois could probably, I would say, between the 10 active branches, we've probably had over 300 students in the respective branches competing. And then I think total, we probably had about close to 60 at nationals representing the different branches.
So look, before we get out of here, thank you, Brian. Real quick to the young people. Can you all offer just maybe very quickly some words of inspiration to your peers who may be in the car? You know, sometimes when you gift it, you know, people try and tell you it's not cool to go to the NAACP, but y'all doing stuff. Can you offer some motivation to your friends real quick?
With this being my second year with AXO, the first year I was really, self-conscious about my art. I didn't know if what I was bringing to the table was something that can help benefit, my future. But I know that with AXO, I became more confident and I became more self-aware of myself and more knowing that I was, I am the best that I can be. So I cannot, compare myself to other artists. So I would say just be self-determined because you are your biggest fan, and keep striving.
Good stuff. Come on, brother.
With this being my first year at AXO, they helped me overstep my comfort zone, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know none of them, and so I didn't think I was gonna win. But since this been my first time I won, I'm proud to say AXO is me.
Hey man, hey y'all gotta get y'all to do it quick. Go quick, duck a la ronge.
Well, I would like to say if you want to strive for the best and reach the top, then AXO is the best place to go because AXO give you that sense of home feel, so you wouldn't be scared to go into what you want to do.
Come on, brother.
So just be yourself, and just be ready to work. I lost 3 years in a row. I never won a medal. This year was my year to win a medal, and it's just to keep coming up. I never gave up. I just kept improving and letting the mentors work with me and just help me grow.
Come on, Flex.
Similar to Julia, never undermine your intelligence. Always work hard at what you do. Stay confident in your work and stay true to yourself.
See that, y'all? That is why we do what we do. This is the WVON morning show, y'all, and I'm always proud to be here with the students from AXO. Y'all make sure y'all come out and check us out this weekend. You know we got the taste of WVON. We got something for everybody. Y'all know about Dougie Fresh? I'm gonna teach y'all how to Dougie if y'all don't know how to do that, right? We got Dougie Fresh, we got the Stylistics, we've got Teresa Griffin, as well as Janitella Tribute. Y'all, I just want to congratulate you, and I want you all to continue to be inspirations and be lights. I remember being your age and not wanting to be, I didn't think it was cool or smart, and I'm glad that y'all have overcome it. Shout out to Brian Hudson, Phi Beta Sigma, my man, doing his thing. But for Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, Miss Sonia Escobar, she is the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. For my man Charles Thomas, I am your host of the WVON Morning Show. Now, y'all, I'm here with these NAACP AXO winners. They all got $2,000. Y'all need to cut me in. But if they don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. You all are awesome. That was super inspirational. I'm proud of y'all. For real. And for real, 75 stack. Hey man, you selling that too? We need to get her somewhere where we can display all of this stuff. Look, y'all, I gotta get out of here. Shout out to our shorties doing a great job. I'm out of your man, Maze Jackson. Peace. You too. Peace.